Salute and rest in power, Laken Riley. And I'd like to give my condolences and salute the Riley family for having had to process the information of how their beloved daughter was found unconscious, barely breathing, with severe traumatic head wounds by blunt force to the head, aka means she got her skull bashed in at the hands of an illegal immigrant. Get to the chopper! Yeah, I got time today.
Today I got time, cuz.
Fair use.
You can't make this shit
We're getting
up.
new details in the murder of a 22-year-old Georgia student, Laken Riley, that's sparking massive outrage after ICE officials confirmed that her alleged killer was in the country illegally. Critics are blaming Biden's open border policies for the death of this innocent young woman.
This current administration, led by, and I use the word led lightly, by Let's Go Brandon and cackling Kamala Harris, has been the epitome of the modern day version of Keystone Cops and Robbers on the grand stage of foreign policy, political comedy of errors that anyone has ever seen before in history. And the reason I say that is because in the black community, we have been telling you that illegal immigration is a problem. It's a problem. But you've ignored us. Our voices have gone unheard, as the voices of the blood that cries out from the ground from our late descendant ancestor does. But you ignored us, and now the chickens are coming home to roost because now the blood is being placed at your doorstep.
There's barbecue in there.
This administration, this current administration, fumbled the ball on Laken Riley's early demise by border security or lack thereof. It's the very same administration that fumbled the ball in Afghanistan, which left hundreds of veterans, hundreds of soldiers behind that are still there to this day being held captive by the Taliban.
You can't make this shit up.
And to show you the level of incompetency from the White House to the courthouse to the outhouse, this is what Kelly Girtz, the mayor of Athens, Georgia, had to say regarding Laken Riley's untimely demise after he rescinded a bill in 2019 not making Athens, Georgia a quote-unquote sanctuary city, but welcoming all immigrants of all statuses. Fair use.
Obviously, that gives the impression to the community and even parents out there who are sending students to your city to go to college. What do you say to that?
I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. I want to say that we center our work here in Athens, Clarke County, in people's humanity. And part of everybody's humanity is the expectation of human dignity. While 2019 was not that long ago, you might remember the dynamic we were living in the late teens in this country, where you had the President of the United States speaking in the most vile terms about people who were foreign born.
No. Kelly Girtz, mayor of Athens, Georgia. Sir, we're not finna do this. Matter of fact, can I call you Kelly? Kelly, we're not finna do this. You are not going to blame the untimely demise / death of Laken Riley. You are not going to blame her death on the Trump administration. We are talking about what happened on the University of Georgia campus last Thursday. So I'm gonna need you to stay within the time frame of a week, sir. And last week, I do believe, if my facts are correct, that was underneath the Let's Go Brandon and cackling Kamala Harris administration.
And you had that notion metastasizing in places like Charlottesville.
This is an invasion. When I was younger, I was a criminal. And you know what I thought about doing? Crossing the border to Mexico to get away from my crimes.
Son, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Jesus Christ, he saved me, and I no longer live that lawless life. But you do.
Son, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Lawless, Mr. Mayor.
I'd be glad to schedule some time with you if you'd like some individual time.
Yeah, I'd like to spend some time with you.
Let's do that, but I need to continue.
I got a question.
Sorry.
I'm with
So
me
are you going to rescind the
question.
resolution? Is that still in place? Does that give the impression this is a sanctuary city?
What?
No, you can't call it that under Georgia law?
What we wish to do is dignify everybody's humanity. There's nothing in that
No,
resolution
that's
that creates...
not the law. You took an oath to uphold the law, not your feelings or nor your opinion.
Chief, I don't know if
That's
that's
what you're upholding. No, sir. You're talking BS to us right now.
I need to answer one question at a time.
Right here, sir. Alex
I'm going to continue my answer from a moment ago, and then I'll get it.
You called me a white supremacist in your resolution.
No.
That was not nice to me, was it?
What-
Had enough, and
what we wish to
have
do-
a right to speak. This is America still.
What we wish to do
Okay. All right.
is to understand,
Stop talking if you'll call upon me so I can answer questions.
is to understand that those families that are here came here under less than ideal circumstances. I've outlined my desire for better federal legislation that would standardize the immigration process. We've not been living in that environment. I mentioned I was a career educator. I've worked with a lot of students and their families in this community. And the practical reality.
Yeah, I know that was a little long, but I wanted you to hear him talk out both sides of his neck at the same damn time. Because out of one side of his neck, he wants to blame the previous presidential administration for the untimely death of Laken Riley, while at the other side of his neck, he wants to coddle the immigration laws, policies, and procedures that will help benefit illegal immigration and for them to continue to wreak havoc on everyday ordinary U.S. citizens. So for Kelly Girtz, the mayor of Athens, Georgia, to say or even compare Laken Riley's untimely deletion at the hands of an illegal immigrant to something that Trump said back in 2019 about the ilk of illegal immigrants that were crossing the border then, which still holds true to this day, is completely absurd. And for him to remind not only just the citizens in Athens, Georgia, let alone the state of Georgia, that these illegal immigrants who are coming into this country illegally are coming over here and facing less than ideal circumstances shows one or two things. One, you're ignorant. And there's nothing wrong with being ignorant. Ignorant just means that you don't know what you don't know with the facts you have presented before you. Number two, is you have a cognitive dissonance associated with the ignorance. And I sure hope it's 1/2, because I can appreciate the fact that somebody tell me they're ignorant of something and I can tell them the truth rather than the fact that they tell me they have a cognitive dissonance from it.
You can't make this shit up.
The only difference between our border security policy and our foreign policy is there ain't one.
You can't make this shit up.
And despite their indifferences, you know what three things are that both of these failed policies have in common? They're both catastrophic,
You can't make this shit
they're
up.
both deadly, and they both could have been completely avoided if it wasn't for the fact that we had a senile old president who was unfit to serve office.
Gotcha, bitch.
President Biden, you are the oldest president ever, and at the end of a second term, you would be 86. Given the demands and pressures of the presidency, some wonder whether you have the strength and stamina to go another 4 years. What would your response be?
My response would be smirk confidently. Wait, let's start over.
Salute! And rest in power, Laken Riley.